Hello everyone and welcome back to Macro Day here on Scriptcase by Jamie. And of course, I'm Jamie and today we are diving into, one of the typical Scriptcase toolbox pool macros that you can get. Well, it's a tiny one today, but it is pretty mighty, I must say, especially if you are building, or should I say, developing applications for a global or maybe worldwide audience. Well, that's for you to decide. So let's dive in and have a look today at the SCGetLanguage macro. So hello and welcome to today's macro day. Yes, it is still Friday, thankfully. And of course, it is macro day today, where we share a little macro that is available within the Scriptcase arsenal. Yes, I said arsenal because it really is an arsenal, even with all of the AI we have available today. It is still a pretty powerful platform and provides us many features and functionalities that we can just click, 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 and we have everything done a little faster than a prompt. Anyway, today's macro is the SCGetLanguage. That is SC_get_language. Just as you can see here at the top. Now, of course, I would run this one and I have my usual page there, but this is another one of those macros that doesn't like to be used like this. So we're going to check it out. And as I said, it is a pretty quick one today. So I have here already a sample and we are using here the SCGetLanguage macro. So let me zoom in there a little bit. And my language would equal the macro basically. Now if I echo that out and then we can see what that comes up with. And as you'll see, that then displays the language of the end user. Now you may be wondering, what purpose does that have? That's pretty crap and useless, isn't it? But it's not. It is, in fact, a very powerful macro because your user accesses your platform. You don't know their language straight away. They may change it with that little drop-down menu that you can apply and allow them to change their language. But at the same time, within your platform, you may not have that language displayed by default, or maybe a certain file needs to be in a certain language or whatever it is. You need to change the language for that end user. And that is where this tiny little macro becomes very powerful. So I do have a little script prepared and let's have a look at that. And you're just going to see what I would be talking about. So here, for instance, we have our user language, and that is then the SCGetLanguage. And then we switch that around depending on the language the user has. And yes, as you have for sure guessed it, the language is per FR or PT_BR or just PT, for instance, or EN_US, if of course you have a US language, that might be, or an English language. Oh, what's the difference really? But of course there is a slight difference between some of these, especially when it comes to Portuguese and Portuguese Brazilian. There is in fact a massive difference, just so you know. And of course you have all of those language variables within the macro help page. So you just need to hop along to the Scriptcase macro page and you have all of those language variables there. For instance, you have, of course, for Italian, IT, Japanese, JA, German, DE, as for sure you guessed already, Dutch, NL. Well, they're all there. And of course, they would be then the typical values, let's say, as you would expect them to, other than maybe Ukrainian, which is UK. Yeah. So you might think that is English, but in fact English is then either EN or EN_US, or typically EN_US. So I'll just stick with that one and just forget the EN because there is no difference between English and American English, right? Wrong. Of course, there is a big difference, and yes, tomato, tomato, right? Okay, anyway, as you see already, we can use this macro then to change the context or text within our application as we then need to. Now, if we wanted to, we could maybe change this to, say, a help link that we have available in here, and then maybe a file that is downloaded or something, and then you are presenting them with their specific language document that they are actually wanting and not the main language that you have in your platform. And of course, you can change the language that is then displayed within your platform, which is, well, most important for today's world. So, as I said, it was a pretty quick and easy one, but do remember, this is a powerful macro that we have available within Scriptcase. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. And of course, look forward to Monday's video because yes, there will be a little update, an update video for you on Monday. So thanks very much for watching and I'll see you soon.